Trump is going after people who are not supposed to be here in this country, particularly those who have committed other heinous acts. Now, Jasmine Crockett here, representative from Texas, a leftist, she in her comments said that it's not like these cities are arresting people for murder, for example, and saying, what's your immigration status? And when they find out that they're illegal, they say, oh, let's release you. I wouldn't say that that's entirely the case. There was an example in Boston. I went through this a couple of weeks ago, right after Trump got into office. Tom Homan, we played the clip on here. Tom Homan went to, I think it was Boston, and they did ICE enforcement. They were doing deportations, and they had found people. They had found people who had been arrested by, I don't know if it was the city of Boston, the state, or whoever. They had been charged with some very, very violent crimes and released prior to being handed over to the to ICE. So this is what happens. What happens is no one's even asking the city. She's also, by the way, she's saying in this soundbite that Trump and MAGA Republicans are mad that police forces in local cities. By the way, I don't know if Jasmine Crockett was even in office when this was a thing, but the left a few years ago was talking about defunding the police. So now they're talking about how important the job is, the job of law enforcement is, which I'm glad that they're doing that finally. But they're doing it not to stop crime in these cities where crime is often rampant and out of control. They're doing it to shelter and to protect the illegal immigrants from actually having to face justice. So Trump hasn't asked, Homan hasn't asked, the Kristi Noem hasn't asked the local city or state law enforcement to do the job of the federal government. All they're doing is saying, if you have someone in your custody, and if we find that that person is illegally in this country, then we're just going to ask you to hold them for 24, 48 hours so that we can then come and take them. That's all that's being asked here. And these cities say no. And oftentimes they choose to release these folks into the streets. And sometimes they have violent charges. They do. At least that's what I've seen in these reports.